I'm Carrie Peters, a recognized thought leader in the Microsoft Dynamics community and a Microsoft MVP for business applications. Welcome to the Get Your Newbie podcast. Keep listening to learn how we work with frustrated Business Central and NAV users who struggle to use their system and find the answers that they need. We teach them to truly understand how the system can support their business processes to make immediate and lasting improvements. As a result, they get more done in less time, make better business decisions, and even love their system.
I got a call the other day from Damien, and Damien was looking at the general ledger entries, and he noticed that there are two fields, and one is called source code, and one is called source type. And he was really confused because he didn't quite understand the difference between these. So I'm wondering if you can help me put this into words that might help someone understand what the difference is between these two, and then what do we even use those for?
Yeah, I think that's probably the best way I can explain it to you so you can explain it to him. I use those fields when I'm trying to troubleshoot why something has been posted to that account. So for example, if I'm looking at a cash account and I'm trying to figure out why I can't reconcile my statement to my ledger, okay? Number one problem. I already found out that that customer had direct posting turned on, so I knew there was some stuff that was direct posted. And I've always used the source code to look and see, all right, well, the source code is the type of transaction that was posted to create the GL entry. The source code is defined in source setup. We get a set of those provided to us in setup data. So for example, sales, purchases, that type of thing. So I might go through and say, all right, well, I'm going to look for anything that was posted through the general journal because that's a place people have a tendency to pick the cash account. And then I say, okay, well, those look fine. And so I go to purchase because maybe somebody did some creative entry and did a purchase document and picked the cash account. But Carrie, you actually helped me learn a little bit more about source type because I was just looking for like general journal or again, where the source of that cash account transaction came from. And you said, well, Cynthia, I actually have a tip to make it easier. So I actually think you have a great explanation for that source type.
Yeah, and just because something is posted from a general journal in an account that does not allow direct posting does not mean that it's wrong, but these are the things that we commonly look for if we are investigating why something might not balance.
Exactly.
But the source type, I actually have to give credit to our colleague Michael for this because he showed me this when he was investigating direct postings to a bank account, cash account. And the source type, it will tell you what type it posted from. So when you have just say a general journal, you select your account type of GL account or customer or vendor or item or resource, whatever it might be, fixed asset. This is what that source type is. So what was the account type on whatever document or whatever journal you were posting?
So I wish that's what the field was called. It would make more sense. Account type. It's the account type that got it there. The other way I think of it is it's also the ledger it came through.
That's a great way of thinking about it.
Yeah. So I think in terms of posting, I think of the general ledger as the last ledger that gets posted to. I'm not talking about technically, and if you're a developer, you know how the code works. We're not getting into that debate. But I think in terms of it came because I picked a customer. So because I picked a customer, it created a customer ledger entry, and then it created the GL entry. It came because I picked a bank account. So it created a bank account ledger entry, might create a check ledger entry, and creates a GL entry, right?
Yeah, that's a good point.
So it's almost like it's the ledger type, or it's the account type.
Yeah, I kind of like that. And the source code is where it came from. So
right.
It came from
the source.
Sale, a purchase,
Correct.
A general journal. But it's confusing because it's source code and source type. So
Yes.
one thing I was just going to add is that what you and I found was that when we were troubleshooting direct posting to the bank account or the cash account, we did notice that not every line in the general ledger entries that was direct posted to cash, it didn't necessarily have a blank source type. Some of those lines actually did say a source type of bank account because bank account was used somewhere in that transaction, even if that line was direct posting. So for the most part, we were really easily able to identify things that direct posted, but some we did have to go just a little bit further and dig into.
So that's where find entries helped us, so now I can't see everything I need to see on the line. So I might go to find entries to see the other entries associated with the transaction. The other trick that I found that makes this whole thing easier for me to understand is I went ahead and I've added source code and source type to my GL entry page, and I've put them next to each other, because now when I see them next to each other, I remember, because before I did that, I'm like, wait a minute, is it the source code or the source type? Which is which? By putting them next to each other, it made it really clear for me that the source code, and they're all in capital letters, so it tells me it's the code that was in the source setup, and then the source type is in upper and lowercase, and that kind of leads me to think in terms of the ledger that it came through, and to get to that ledger, that meant it had to be the type of account that was selected.
Right. Oh. And so for me, I've been able to use these and kind of know how to use them, but to explain it to Damien, that's where I needed a little bit of help. So this conversation has helped me, and hopefully all of you listening, this lends a little bit of clarity to those fields if you've seen them. So if you want to listen to us for more than just 5 minutes, we have a whole lot more to share with you.
Go to learndynamics.com for on-demand training courses.
Did your team ever really get good training to understand how to use your business software? Do you think you could use more features of your software if you just knew how? Are you frustrated with inefficiency that never seems to get better? Do you suspect that there just has to be a better way, but you don't know what that is? We believe every company can benefit from increased efficiency and higher utilization of their software, and that it's possible to have fun while learning exactly how to do that. The experts at NewView Strategies work with frustrated Business Central and NAV users who struggle to use their system and find the answers they need. We teach them to truly understand how the system can support their business processes to make immediate and lasting improvements. As a result, they get more done in less time, make better decisions, and even love their system. Please contact us at getyournewview.com to get started.